reality series on A&E, where his acerbic, darkly truthful insights on Louisiana politics struck a nerve. "The only way I can lose this election," he once famously declared, "is if I'm caught in bed with either a dead girl or a live boy." For the 19th and much of the 20th centuries, Jennings residents found employment in decidedly blue-collar, working-class industries, farming, oil, and later at textile plants. A handful of elites, however, controlled most of the local commerce. One of the most prominent families in Jennings were the Ziglers, whose paterfamilias, George B. Zigler, migrated, penniless, to town from North Dakota in the early 1900s and quickly minted a huge fortune among Jennings' vast and newly discovered oil fields. Passionate about Jennings and the riches the town had brought him, Zigler became a Johnny Appleseed for the business community. His son, Fred Zigler, owned and operated a prominent automobile dealership from the late 1930s to the mid-1950s called Zigler Motors, which he later sold to another Jennings entrepreneur, A.J.M. Bubba Oostele. The Oosteles remain one of the most powerful families in the area. Two sprawling car dealerships bearing the family's name sit in the heart of Jennings: a Chevrolet dealership on North Main Street and a Toyota dealership on North Broadway. Today, the hubs of activity in Jennings comprise just a few blocks around North Main. It includes the Oostele dealership, a courthouse, a branch of the Jefferson Davis Parish Library, and the sprawling Jennings Carnegie Library, with dramatic white columns by its entrance, built in 1908, which is the oldest library in Louisiana. In the optimistic era of post-World War II economic expansion, Fred Zigler dreamed of building a grand hotel that would transform Jennings into a national destination. In 1948, Zigler took his hotel pitch public, urging fellow residents to buy shares in the hotel, to be named, naturally, for his father, George B. Zigler. He would build on a plot of family land on the corner of Broadway and Napier K Streets in North Jennings. "If you do not build a hotel now," warned one of Zigler's partners in the Jennings Daily News, "you will pay the price of it every 10 years in lost profits." Citizens of Jennings heeded the call. By the end of 1948, 125 hotel salesmen had sold 3,167 shares of stock, raising $316,700, the equivalent of about $3 million today. For their efforts, they were rewarded with gold watches and free groceries. Shareholders who purchased $1,000 in stock were paid back with a public nod to their civic pride. Their names were published in the Jennings Daily News. But the Zigler campaign was still hundreds of thousands of dollars short of the funding it needed to open the 57-room hotel. "We hit hotel firms, insurance companies, individuals, investment bankers, every place we thought we had a chance," Fred Zigler lamented to the Wall Street Journal. "But no luck. We had no operating record, and they wouldn't take a chance on us." Finally, in 1952, the hotel's backers secured a sum, $600,000, in excess of their budget. The Zigler hastily opened. The years of slow and frustrated financing efforts should have signaled to the Ziglers that the hotel's prospects would be dim. Shortly after opening, the Zigler was rocked by a series of disasters. In June of 1957, Hurricane Audrey brought torrential rains and 145-mile-per-hour winds, severely crippling infrastructure for the oil industry. Audrey was predicted to be a Category 2 storm at landfall, but defying forecasts, it intensified to Category 4, killing nearly 550 people in West Louisiana, including over 100 children. After Audrey, the region faced an even more destructive force, the interstate highway system. Now motorists could bypass dozens of small towns along U.S. Highway 90 in favor of Interstate 10, or I-10. U.S. 90 itself had abandoned the Zigler, wrote Lewis in a sprawling 11-part history of the Ziglers published in the Jennings Daily News. At the end of the 1950s, the state adjusted the highway's route. Instead of running through the heart of downtown on Main Street, US 90 was shifted east to North Cutting Avenue.